We got to take our guests in the next hour. I want them to have a full hour, and I want to be serious now. Because when you guys are saying, well, Sam doesn't say this, when we're saying the Earth might be flat, we need to be serious, okay?
Good stuff.
I need to get some tinfoil, but let's be serious.
Good stuff.
I do not believe the world is flat, okay? But Eddie's kind of like, he's kind of like the mad prophet. And then we have the leader, though, Dave Weiss. Dave Weiss here with the FlatEarthPodcast.com. So let's be clear. I can't get people to admit Google's listening to you 15 years ago when I had their internal documents. So they're going to use this against me. But it's okay because we're having a debate. Flat Earth's a huge discussion. And I think the bigger issue is people know the system's lied to them so much about so many things that now a lot of people I know, people aren't even listeners, are like, you know, I don't appreciate you. I'm a liberal, but I think the Earth's flat. Well, I'm showing International Space Station footage, time lapse, of the Earth. Looks pretty round to me, but I'm going to debate this with you guys.
You think that's real?
But I'm not saying you're bad.
That is a Steven Spielberg special right there.
Look at those cities. There's no cities that bright.
Couldn't even do something that good.
There's no cities. What kind of city is that? There's only one city, maybe
those
two.
Those are thunderstorms.
Look at that. They're supposed to be cities.
What are those volcanoes from Jurassic Park?
Yeah, that's lava.
What are we talking about here?
Like
that's not real. That's
you ever drove over a hill at night and the city looks like a big yellow blob?
It's the Vegas Strip all over the world?
Yeah. No, it's the coastlines. That's where 90% of people live on coastlines.
You're better than that. You're better
that's than CGI. That. That's fake.
Look at birds aren't real.
What is this? Birds are real. Nobody's saying birds aren't real. Nobody's saying birds aren't real.
Trying to get the ring right now. Looks like Mordor. Is this Lord of the Rings? What are we playing here?
Hey, I sent a clip to Daria. It's a 1-minute clip.
We're going to play next segment.
Not the one I just sent you, Daria, but the one I sent you yesterday.
Well, listen, when the head of Bank of America Bank of America came out last year and said the universe isn't real and that it's all a CG. So if the head of Bank of America is saying none of it's real, you're less crazy saying the Earth. So explain me. So is Earth like a pancake?
Well, listen, Daria, can we play? It's less than 1 minute.
We're going to go to the guests in a minute.
And it's on space art.
I'm telling you, they don't have it.
Look at him. Look at him. He's dying to talk.
Congress, okay? Hold on. Let's stop right there.
The space art video.
They know. Just we'll have meetings during the breaks. We have to get clips and we have to look at them and discuss them.
Send it to my phone.
And roll them. Anyways, but let's just stop there. We'll not get a clip. You'll get nothing like it. I'm getting a contact high off whatever you guys are on.
I can't believe you're looking at this and you think that's real. That's crazy. That's crazy.
This is the best time ever. When I died,
that's
this
the Aurora Borealis. I've seen that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Isn't that nice?
Look at that. They always show the little solar panel on the side.
Come on. Look at that.
Get out of here.
Look at that.
Get out of here. Look at that.
What, the Green Lantern fart? What is that?
Jesus Christ. Let's get David Weiss on.
We are.
God.
Come on, the guy's in here.
Oh, no. Are you on drugs right now?
Let's watch this clip right now.
Drugs,
tell me for radio.
We're high on Christ.
For radio listeners, tell me what it is.
It's a news clip where they're telling you that all the video from the footage, photos, and video from space are fake. Watch it. It's on the news. It's on the news.
Wow. Yeah. Over the years, NASA has given us spectacular photos and renderings that reveal a colorful and mysterious universe.
No artists behind some of the most iconic space art in the galaxy.
In a small, bright office, working side by side.
Let's see.
Robert Hurt and Tim Pyle bring the universe to life. Astrophysicist turned artist. Tim, once a Hollywood animator, is now a planet illustrator. Together, they produce some of NASA's most popular images, from renderings of how planets light years away could look, to actual photos of stars and galaxies captured by NASA's powerful telescope. It's a delicate blend of imagination and data. The artists meet with NASA scientists over many drafts to ensure a planet or galaxy's look lines up with the research to make final results enough to keep us all dreaming of the final frontier for years to come. Chris Martinez, CBS.
Over the years, NASA has given us spectacular photos and renderings that
Let me just say something right here. Number one, that was the worst editing and jump cuts I've ever seen. Number two, they're talking about when they say illustrations or renderings or enhancements. They say that in the magazines. They say it online.
They do say it.
That this is what we believe this exoplanet or whatever it looks like.
They do that to everything.
Eddie, we're going to go to our special guest, and we'll have. And I apologize for you being a bad person. I'm joking. Let's be serious for this. We got to break. You understand that I took astronomy in college, which I'm not saying I bought into that. I went and convinced my dad when I was like 19 to buy, now they're a lot cheaper, a Meade 12-inch, I think it was refractor, one of the big entry ones. It was like $14,000.
Did you see the flat Earth from there?
Listen, I would drive out in the desert and sit up all night and drink a 6-pack of beer with my dad, and I would watch Jupiter rotate and look at its moons. I took color photos of it myself with a device.
Let me see it.
You know, most of these, well, it's at home, but you know most of these comets and all these things get found by civilians with telescopes.
I'm not saying that what you're looking up in the sky isn't there. It's there. But what they're telling us it is not real.
I'm seeing that Sam Tripoli likes Chill Force. Look at that, folks. Worked incredibly well on Sam. We've told Americans space not exist. Ha ha! Eddie Bravo's our agent. China now get the moon. Ha ha! Ha ha! No. How you say Weiss? What's his name? Let's get serious. Dave Weiss is here, ladies and gentlemen. Actual footage of the eclipse I personally shot from Air Force 9, a spaceship, me and Trump, Space Force. Let's get serious for our esteemed guest. We'll be back on at a serious time when you two aren't causing problems.
Okay.
No, seriously, though, Eddie, I used to be an amateur astronomer. Haven't had time since I've been on here 25 years. I quit it. But I'd go out and do stuff like look at a half-mile away at geckos on a lamp eating bugs, because that's another fun thing about telescopes. You know, up close, you can watch bugs on a leaf, you know, a half-mile away. Just really crazy stuff with these super high-powered ones when the conditions are right. And I watched Jupiter orbiting. I mean, I watched it turning. It's a ball. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go. Let's introduce.
Let's do it right now. He's from the Flat Earth Podcast. Dave, we really appreciate you coming on the broadcast. Dave came to Flat Earth the same way most people do, with the intention to debunk it. That was 6 years ago. Now he is host of the award-winning Flat Earth Podcast and the creator of the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, the flatearthpodcast.com. So it's like, give us your awakening to this. I want to be clear. I don't think it's flat. But, you know, the media says I say that. I'm not saying that. But I think it's okay for you to question, as much as we've been lied to. How do you know it's not diamond shaped? How do you know it's not? How about we're all Alex, just a simulation? It's not even real.
It's the shape of the Earth that matters. But first, I want to thank you for having me on. Many years ago, you were one of the people, maybe the person that woke me up. So I thank you for that. And since then, you know, things have really spiraled out of control.
So tell us your background and how you discuss. I mean, what happened?
I did a truth podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. People started sending me flat Earth stuff. I wouldn't watch a single video. I wouldn't watch a 1-minute video because it's the dumbest thing in the world. You're not wasting my time with that. So then finally, another researcher, we were talking about the deceptions in the world, and she said, you know, I think it's worse than that, David. I think the Earth might be flat. I absolutely flipped out at her. She sent me some videos. I said, that's it. I'm going to debunk it. For 17 to 24 hours a day, I was trying to debunk the Earth. And after 2 weeks, I realized we don't live on a spinning rock water ball rocket. I mean, that's what you believe. You believe we live on the outside of a spinning rock, spiraling in 4 different directions at once at speeds that you can't even imagine. And then every year, the stars are in the exact same place on the exact same day, right? None of it makes sense. The thing that you got to look at is there's pre-programmed responses that people have. They say, you know, where's the edge? How come no one's fallen off? Circumnavigation proves it. Boats over the curves prove the ball. You know, eclipses prove the ball. All of these things do not prove the ball. They actually prove flat Earth when you look at it. And the thing that people say is there's no proof of flat Earth and there's endless proof of the globe Earth. And the exact opposite is the true when you take the time to learn. The problem is believing lies are really easy. Sometimes I introduce myself on a show and I come up with this fake background. I went to medical school and I lost hope in allopathic medicine, and people believe it. And then 2 minutes later, I tell them that was a lie and you just believe me. So you can believe a lie. I tell you something and then you can believe it and your whole day is free. But if you want to know the truth on anything, it takes time and effort and critical thought.
Let me just throw this at you.
Let him talk.
What about, I offered Eddie to fund a project with a research ship and then we can just go to the end of it. Where's the wall? You're going to say Antarctic?
Yeah, so just look at the Earth this way. People say, why are all the other planets round, and why is the Earth the only disk in space? The Earth is not a disk in space. The way I look at it is the Earth, the flat plane of the Earth, is the basement of the universe. It's the only way I can describe it. And we live in a pond. Imagine a giant circular lake in Kansas with islands in it, and in the center of the lake is the North Pole.
You live in a cage.
Well, no, hold on, not in a cage. Just hear me out. I'll make this short. So you have the center of the lake is the North Pole. You have islands you could sail around clockwise, counterclockwise. That's east and west. If you sail away from the center at any point, that's south. And when you get to the shoreline, that's the end of the Earth that we know of. That's the shoreline of Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. It is the shoreline of the world ocean lake, I'll call it. And there is lots of it is a cliff, not a wall where you can jump over and jump into space.
You're saying we're in a terrarium.
Well, so here's the thing. Some people say there's a dome. Some people say there isn't a dome. Some people say there's more lands, more worlds, more suns across the plane. The truth is, we don't know. We're not allowed to go there.
Well, the ancients, the Bible says the Earth's round, but then if you go back, a lot of the ancients after that debate said it was flat. And then I guess it was Copernicus, Galileo. When did they start saying it was round? But
Jesuits.
They started. So the whole. So the saying that the Bible has. Look up a video called 200 proofs, 200 Bible verses that says the Earth is flat. There are 200 verses that talk about flat Earth. I believe there's one that says the circle of the Earth. Well, my dining room table is a circle and it's not a sphere. Okay. So it has it's a footstool, if you want to quote the Bible, the footstool of the Earth.
So why would the establishment try to keep something 1 trillion times bigger than the Manhattan Project secret?
Can we answer that a little bit later? Because you're jumping forward past, you're looking for a motive. Like if you saw somebody light 50 houses on fire and there's all the evidence in the world, but you couldn't figure out a motive, does that mean he didn't do it? So I'd be guessing at the motive, but I have a good guess, and I believe it's right on why they did it. But let's do that later. Let's get through some of the points.
Well, I know they want a world government to keep independent nations from ever figuring stuff out. They certainly suppress a lot of stuff, and they got a project to kill everybody. So I mean that's a fact.
Right.
Let him talk.
So if you don't know who you are, if you believe that we live on the outside of a rock, that nothing exploded, created everything, and then a microbe turned into a fish that climbed out of the water, happened to find another fish that it can mate with to make a monkey, and then a monkey, farted, and there's our humans.
They don't want us to know who we are.
Right. They don't want you to know who we are, that there's no shortage of anything, that there's possibly, very likely, more land, more resources than they're telling us. There's hidden
land. It's a whole
land.
other giant dimension, and we're actually locked in here as an experiment.
I don't believe that at all. I believe that we live, for lack of a better word, we live in a realm, and it's flat and stationary, and every test that's ever been done to prove the Earth is spinning has proved that it's flat.
So what's gravity?
That it's not moving. Go ahead.
What's gravity?
So gravity, a lot of flat earthers will say gravity is just buoyancy and density. And if there was such a thing as gravity, buoyancy and density are a thing. But gravity, the Earth plane is a negatively charged plane. This is a proven fact. The sky above us, whatever it is up there, is positively charged. So the negative charge of the Earth is establishing it down, and then buoyancy and density sort everything out.
Let me throw this at you then. Everybody's probably seen William Shatner voiced it. It's Trinity and Beyond. And I was already aware of this, but back in the 90s, I saw the footage of it from the U.S. government where they did over 1,000 detonations trying to blow up the atmosphere and ignite it.
Project Fistball.
Yeah, and that would have killed us. And trying to blow a hole through the Van Allen radiation belt to get through it because the probes couldn't get through. So, sounds crazy. You realize, what were they trying to blast through? I mean, why would you do that? Go ahead.
Well, so there's never in science can you have high pressure next to a vacuum. It can never happen unless there's a physical barrier. So they tell us space is the vacuum of space. I don't.
So what would the hydrogen bombs do that they launched up into the atmosphere and detonated?
I don't believe that they were hydrogen bombs. That's a whole nother thing. They were trying to blow through it and they couldn't. I wasn't there, so I'd rather not really dig in.
There you go. Great statement.
Yeah. So So
I know folks that were there.
How do you know?
On the Apollo.
Let's say they were, Alex. Let's say they were, and they threw 500 bombs up there. Okay, that works on a flat Earth. That works on a ball Earth. Who the heck knows what's going on? None of that proves anything. So
I was giving that to your theory, like they were trying to blast their way through it. So here's the deal: are they working with whoever knows it is outside it in your theory? Because that sounds like they're trying to keep us from knowing it, and you're just like, ah.
It's the biggest deception in the world. You know, before flat Earth, I was a atheist. I believed in evolution. I wouldn't listen to anything that had anything to do with God.
Tell us about when we come back. Dave Weiss brings us into Deep Purple and space trucking. And the leader of 10th Planet, which doesn't exist, Eddie Bravo's here with us. Eddie's been ranting during the break, and I said, why don't you do it on air? What I'm getting at is I think it's very healthy to question reality. I know that it's pushed by Silicon Valley that everything's digital, and this is a simulation, and none of it's real. So we just give up and don't care. So why is that acceptable and being taught as a religion and that humans are bad, roll over and die for the post-human world? But if you question the Earth or space or any of this, then you are a bad person. I don't think that's the case. But you've been bullying me a bit during the break that I think it's silly. Because also, you don't believe me that I watched Jupiter orbit and took photos of it.
I believe you, Alex. I don't know why, but I do.
And you don't believe?
Can I comment on that?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So you took photos of Jupiter, and what you saw was a light in the sky with some other lights moving around it. That is the only thing that we can say about celestial objects is that they're lights in the sky. We don't know how big they are. We don't know how far they are. We don't even know if they're solid objects. Pictures.
I could see the great eye. I could drive out to Llano outside Austin in the winter with no light pollution. Sit back, because my uncle lived down the street. Me and my dad would go visit. We'd sit there and drink a 6-pack of beer, share it, and sit there and take photos. We'd be out there like 4 or 5 hours, and you could see it orbiting. You could see the moons moving. They're round.
So hang on. I agree. I agree, but what you're seeing is lights. We don't know what they are. When you say moons, those are tiny little lights around it, and we don't know how far they are. If you ask, the sun is supposedly 93 million miles away, but nobody knows how that was ever calculated.
Guys, let's show some footage.
Alex, stop bullying him. Let him talk. Man, you're bullying him,
I just address a couple things that you said before.
Bullies.
I just roll some footage of the sun. Go ahead.
NASA never uses the word photo. They say image or picture. And we know what images and pictures are, and it's exactly what they give us. When you take, our optics with these super zoom cameras now have outgrown their lies. And we can zoom in on stars and see that they're energetic balls of energy with different patterns and stuff in them. All the stuff you're seeing here is supplied by NASA.
Yeah, back this animation up there showing. That's an animation.
Animation.
Roll it. I know it is. Roll it.
And you know how NASA's always coming up, hey, we found this deep space object. On Halloween, they found an asteroid that looks like a skull, and the sunspots looked like a jack-o'-lantern on the sun. Do you believe that stuff? I mean, they are laughing in our faces. Getting back to what you were saying,
wait a minute,
why would they lie?
I have a big green filter that I used to look at the sun more than anything through my 12-inch
and what you're seeing is a light in the sky.
What are you at Subway?
Let him talk. Let the guy talk.
Yeah. What you're seeing is a light in the sky. You were asking me before why the deception, and the deception is to make you think that you are insignificant, make you think that God doesn't exist. The greatest, the saying, the greatest trick the devil ever did was to prove that he didn't exist, to make you believe that he didn't exist. But the greatest trick the devil ever did was to make you think God doesn't exist.
Well, let me throw this in,
to say that is an amazing thing.
Sure. I know the globalists are trying to build a false reality and insert us into it. Currently, that's what they want, is into virtual reality. They want to take us out of this reality into that. Are you saying we're already in that reality, already in a false reality?
This reality that, the world is a stage is an understatement. Everything that's presented to us is complete and utter nonsense. Here's the thing. Again, as I said in the beginning, truth is the enemy of knowing. Lies are easy. You just lie. Okay, I believe it. But if you want to know the truth, you got to take the time and effort. And where can you go? You used to be able to go to YouTube and type in flat earth and you'd come up with all of these videos. Now they've changed the algorithms. It's all hidden. When I upload a video, I have all my subs. None of them get notified anymore. If you try to find my channel,
No,
unless
I know, we know all about the censorship.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
eagle versus serpent. Knowledge is
I came up-
power.
Right. I have a challenge for people. The Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's $3. It's super cheap. It cost me a ton of money to make, and I didn't make it to make money. I made it to bypass
you got to feed
YouTube's
yourself putting
algorithm.
out your cosmology. Well, which I think is healthy to question everything. Cosmology means worldview.
Respect.
The point of the app, every day I serve a new video on it. That it's a short video during the week, longer ones on the weekend, and I challenge people if they watch the video every day for 2 weeks, they will know that the Earth is not a ball, and they will dig deeper, and it bypasses YouTube's recommendations. Like if you watch a video that debunks something NASA did or debunks the spinning ball, the next video is the opposite of that, served by YouTube. But the app takes that away because it's feeding you playlists.
No, I understand. And we'll plug your stuff more, and I want to go look at it myself. But just, again, from your research, if you guys are right, is it other humanoids controlling us? Or, I mean, what would it be? Why would they want to, and why would the people on this planet, the scientific establishment, try to keep us from the fact that we're really somebody's hamster?
Didn't Epstein blackmail all these scientists? We were talking about that yesterday.
Yes,
so science is corruptible, right?
And there's also there's people that are just don't know. They're brainwashed and they believe that, people that are doing extraterrestrial research, aliens, extraterrestrials, think of the word, the etymology, extraterrestrial, extra territory. They're coming from the extra lands beyond where we're allowed to go. I believe, don't have any proof, this is my opinion, that there are extraterrestrials, but they're not a spaceship a flight away, light years away. They're a day trip on a commercial airliner away. And we just don't have access to those lands.
And the globalists have treaties with them not to blow us up.
Well, no one is allowed to
independently.
independently.
There's too many of us, so they're getting ready to kill us because the guys next door have more advanced technology. Our elite's going to go hang out with them, but we've got to all die as the cost of it.
If you
that's actually the plan being made. Satan's made a deal. This isn't flat Earth. This is the elites believe off-world entities, interdimensional, have made deals with them, and as long as they kill everybody, they get to be the new gods. Now that's an official globalist view.
Or maybe the official globalist glue. I can't speak. The official globalist.
Got an alien inside
idea, whatever.
Say it.
I just lost my words. Is that those aliens are here, not from outer space? It's all here. Thanks, Alex.
I'm just having some fun. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Eddie's about to kill me.
Well, I mean, it's like, come on, dude. You believe everything's a lie.
You challenge me to battle?
You believe everything's a lie by the media, but you believe this one thing. It's like, how do you believe this one thing from the media, but you don't believe anything else,
Just
Alex?
because they're lying about chemtrailing. Oh, let me ask you this. They now admit, sir, that they are manipulating the atmosphere and the weather, and that we were all right about that. How does that fit into this?
Yeah, well, think about it. If you're trying to manipulate the weather on a spinning ball with a vacuum over a pressurized atmosphere, how does that work? If we are in an enclosed system, probably a lot easier to manipulate the weather. I don't know exactly what all the spraying in the sky is about. There's probably multiple reasons.
Well, they say they're
Again,
saving
it's
the
above my
Earth.
head. I'm not there.
Hey, if they say real quick, if I, and I'm just trying to ask questions of skeptics right here. If I say I fly around the world, what is actually happening?
So people have only circumnavigated east and west. East and west are circles around the center point. If you were 1 mile from the North Pole, your compass is pointing to the North Pole, and you wanted to go east, you have to keep that compass pointing to the North Pole. 3.14 miles later, you're back to where you started from.
What
You
if I chartered an
circumnavigate.
airplane in the summer, landed in Antarctica, and then asked them to fly over the rest of it? Let's say I flew down from Chile, and then I said, now I'm going to fly back over it and go over to South Africa.
Right. So if you look at on the app, there's a frequently asked questions called circumnavigation, and it shows that it's never been done. Billions of people have done it east and west. People have gone over the north to the other side, but no one has gone south and come back up the other side because you can't. The Earth is flat.
Alex, why don't you fund that? Why don't you fund somebody going
Alex,
to
you can
the
fund
south?
it, but it will never happen. You won't be able to go. They had a flight last year. They took money for it, and then it disappeared, and it never happened because
Can I have a document cam shot, please? Well, I think this is the ultimate quest, and I'll get on a plane with a bunch of you guys, and we'll go down there.
No, you go.
Alex, I got a better idea.
Here's the Earth real quick. You're
I
saying it's
think you
flat,
that the Earth is
and
flat.
so we basically just sail around in circles instead of because, again, you could go to South America and then fly south, and then I guess come back up on the other side of the planet.
That never happens.
and come back up
Never
to Australia.
done.
You just haven't looked into it. That never happens. That never happens. They just doesn't happen.
Look at the circumnavigation videos on the Flat Earth Podcast website or on the app, and you'll see how they've been faking
Well, listen,
it.
what we'll do is, this is important enough. How about we have you come in studio? I'll fly you here. Can load all the graphics and stuff in here, and then you can convince me of this, because you
got them.
In Dallas, Texas, on November 14th and 15th, this is the Flat Earth International Conference, FE2019.com. You're invited.
Dude,
I have a VIP ticket for you, and it's 2 days, and you will see, the ballers walk in, but they don't walk out. Okay? The Flat Earth International Conference, November 14th and 15th in Dallas.
Stay there. We're going to come back for a little while, and then I've got Dr. Nick Begich, who exposed HAARP and globalism and the New World Order and the plan with the 5G 20 years before. We'll want to get his take on this. Like, let's bring Begich in instead of 15 after. Let's bring him in at 6 after and get his take on this. Have a big roundtable, but keep our esteemed guest, Dave Weiss, the FlatEarthPodcast.com with us. Don't forget, I have the new 51st state T-shirts where the astronauts going to get the moon for the 51st state. That funds our operation, and all the big sales have to end this Sunday. InfoWarsStore.com, 50% off, you name it, on things like Super Male Vitality. Get a free bottle of Ultimate Female Force. That funds our operation. Thanks to you all. Stay with us. Hour number 4 straight ahead. Well, we're having a uniquely American, uniquely human discussion here today. Going back, 1,000 years ago, they would debate whether the earth was flat or whether the earth was round. And if you said it was round, you get put in prison. Nowadays, I guess you just get shadow banned on YouTube if you say that it's flat. But it's gotten really hot. I have a lot of people ask me questions about it. And, I have observed the universe through a telescope myself. And I understand how, in the scheme of time, that you get a rock and then it orbits the sun, and it gets in that position, but it itself's rotating, and gravity, and I know about cell phones and missiles and computers and all the things that are going on. But I don't think it's bad to question the nature of reality. And so that's what I've been saying. Dave Weiss, the Flat Earth Podcast, is here with us. And we have Eddie Bravo, and, of course, we have Sam Tripoli. But I have to say, the loss of confidence in the system, that more and more people do think the earth is flat, not just, a lot of it's not my listeners, it's the general public. A lot of liberals think it's that. There's such a loss of confidence. That must really say something about the establishment, that people don't believe a damn thing they say.
Alex, the thing is, you say we think the earth is flat. People that think the earth is a globe have never looked into it. Ask yourself, what's one proof that you have that the earth is a globe? And they'll come up with photos, astronauts, circumnavigation, all of these things that have been debunked. There's zero proofs that the earth is a ball. Every test shows that it's not.
Okay,
we can see too far.
Tell me these tests.
Pardon me?
Tell me these tests.
So on any ball would have spherical geometry, and the agreed upon formula for testing, the few thousand miles is 8 inches per mile squared, because as you go across, the drop-off drops more and more. So at 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. A 6 foot tall person, 6 foot tall person standing at the water's edge, the horizon should be 3 miles away, and then it should drop down. But we can see hundreds of miles with today's optics. We could see things that are hundreds, that should be miles below the curvature. We can see the entire thing. It all has to do with optics, angular size, density of the atmosphere.
I sat there at the beach with a set of super high-powered binoculars. I got some big old giant ones somewhere. I'm going to dig those out. I used to really be into optics and things. And I've sat there on a beach house when it's a clear day and watched ships go over the horizon. So I'm 30 feet above sea level, and I've got big binoculars on a tripod. I'm watching that ship, and then I'm watching it go over the horizon.
So the way that works, there's a couple things that make that happen. As your angular view of the floor, you have a steep angle to the floor. But if you're looking at something a mile away, that angle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. As you go out farther into the water, let's assume it's a calm day and there's no waves blocking your view. That angle becomes a mirage, and the ship goes right into the mirage. Most of the time, when you think you see a ship go over the horizon, you take a super zoom camera and you zoom in, and there it is again. It's back. But it doesn't matter if and it will disappear from the bottom up into the mirage, or there's several other things. This.
Okay, all these governments, 100 and something governments, 170 governments or so,
or one government,
so that have giant, militaries, aircraft, all this stuff. They're all working together to cover up that we're in this bowl.
So, Alex, the way I look at it, Russia and the United States during the Cold War, how many people died? How many skirmishes were there? I believe that war is just a construct to divide and separate us.
Proxy wars, millions died.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is wars are just to divide and conquer us. These countries. Did you watch the moon landing of the Israel tried it the other day and India? It's a joke. It's a cartoon. It's ridiculous. So we're going into a break.
Yeah, we're back in 60 seconds.
The censorship is real.
Yeah. Truth
there's
and
people
boner
online
pill.
that think when we go to break, it's to cover something up. There's set times with the satellites that are in space going around the globe.
Oh, the satellites in space, huh, Alex?
Yeah, they're not real either. This electricity isn't real. Man, the system has really screwed the pooch with its lying. Now the public doesn't believe anything, including fighting their own ass in the dark. Good Lord, this is ridiculous. We now take you live to the flat pancake, somewhere in a dimension. Inside the bowl. Inside the Reptoids terrarium. Listeners, I promise to shake the show up in some ways. And it's good to have free-thinking debates. And I'm not trying to get in a fight with Eddie Bravo or the high priest of flat earthness, Dave Weiss, the Flat Earth podcast. And, I should go up to the Dallas Flat Earth Symposium and shoot a report. That would be entertaining and interesting because I want to be convinced of this, and then I'm going to be the one that, gets the plane during the summer, and then we just fly across Antarctica and to the other side and debunk all this forever.
That'll never happen.
It'd be a top History Channel, Discovery Channel show.
I'll put $1,000 on right now. I'll put one Bitcoin on right now, Alex Jones, that you do not do that.
I'll double that.
One Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm going to reach out. We'll have to fly down to Chile. We'll have to get the expedition, and we're going to fly across Antarctica to the other side, and then you're going to say it's fake.
Dave, explain to them how that's never going to happen. Explain. They're not going to let you.
It never happened. If you look in the Guinness Book of World Record for south-north circumnavigation, the flight goes down to, I believe it goes down through Santiago, Chile. It touches Antarctica, and then it doubles back and comes back and goes up to the North Pole. That's not circumnavigation.
Tell them what the search
That's going
engine,
out to the edge and back to the middle.
Again? Tell us what the search engine will show it.
No, he said the Guinness Book of Records.
I know, but we can show that.
The Guinness Book of Records. They gave the records of circumnavigation, and when you actually look at the path they took,
search engine,
it's not.
Aerial circumnavigation of the globe. Now I know how Magellan did it.
So explain Magellan.
Well, he was part of the
let me bring up another thing. People say we've known the Earth is a ball, is a sphere for 500 years. Aristophanes figured it out with sticks and shadows. That's nonsense. Aristophanes didn't show up in any literature until the 1980s, right? And in 1900, teachers were being persecuted that were trying to teach heliocentrism in class. Everyone knew that the Earth was flat in the early 1900s. It only took a couple generations to change us, start a couple wars, get people focused on other things.
Stop you there. All I know is AP ran a headline that I wrote a book about Sandy Hook and lost a suit. I never wrote the book. I'm not in the book. We contacted them and they said, we don't care. It stays out. And now I don't even know anymore. They lie so much. I mean, the level of lies is insane.
So, but why do you believe this then? Why do you believe the ball thing?
Because now the head of Bank of America said 2 years ago that the world doesn't exist and we're inside Silicon already. I mean, my God, this is all insane. Now there's not even a world period. It's a matrix, and
that has nothing to do with flat Earth. Simulation is totally different.
Hey, how do you prove it's not just a simulation? There's mathematical calculations.
There's no proof of it.
I'm being sarcastic.
That works on a ball Earth and a flat Earth. Doesn't matter. It doesn't prove either.
Is the HBO show Baller part of subliminal programming to make people ballers?
I wouldn't doubt it.
And think about the Rock's head. How round is that?
Talk about the Flat Earth Society. Talk about that.
Yeah, the flat. Right. So when people search the flat Earth, Obama mentioned the Flat Earth Society. I can't count how many times during his presidency. They want people to go to the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is nothing to do with flat Earth. It is a controlled opposition site that if you go there, it has nonsense. It has a little bit of truth and a bunch of nonsense. And if you go there and look, you're going to turn away and never look back again because it makes flat Earth ridiculous. We are not.
It's the first thing that comes up on Google. When you go flat Earth, they're going to take you right to the Flat Earth Society. They're going to capture curious people, and then they're going to turn everybody off. That's the plan.
Alex, why are they hiding it? You know,
why would they do that? Why would they have a Flat Earth Society #1 search? Why?
Yeah.
Why, Alex?
Right there. Why would they do that?
Because Google cares about us.
Alex.
Exactly.
And anybody
they care about our
listening to this
teeth, too. That's what the fluoride's about.
Anyone that's getting just a little curious, like, okay, I want to figure this out. If you Google Flat Earth, you're not going to figure it out. You got to go to sites like Jeranism.com. Great videos. ODE Reality. He's really put together some amazing, amazing stuff. There's if you want the biblical side, Woketown, another amazing site, or my channel, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, DITRH on YouTube. I have all short videos there. If you can't remember any of that, just go to the flatearthpodcast.com video page, and it's all there.
Okay, well, I'm going to look more into this, and I get people have a right to question whatever they want. I'm not endorsing this because the media is going to lie and say that. But they've lied to us so much. This is what they've done to people's brains. And look, I think you guys are being scientific. It's good to do this. It's good to question. This has been a debate forever here on the planet. But do we have Dr. Nick Begich yet? Okay, he's ready. Thanks. That's all I need to know. Let's bring Dr. Nick Begich on, who exposed the HAARP weather modification, exposed the plan for the cell towers to control the brain, thousands of things. Of course, his brother's been a U.S. senator, his father a famous congressman that freed up the land in Alaska. He's a real scientist, a real researcher, best-selling author, filmmaker, and he's normally hosting the fourth hour, and the fifth hour would be going at Owen Schroyer here on the show. But right now we're co-hosting with Dr. Nick Begich. Dr. Begich, what do you think about this whole flat Earth phenomenon, hysteria, craze? Is it like the great tulip bubble? I mean,
who knows? I don't know. It's not my my issue. But years ago, somebody sent me a packet of articles out of the New York Times from like the early 1900s, from when they were doing the Arctic expeditions and so on. And the things that were reported then were pretty bizarre. I mean, you never hear about it anymore, and you wonder, well, whatever happened to that? Because they were talking about. Well, they were saying like there was open land in the middle of this continent, this kind of thing. And I'll have to dig that clippings pile out, and I'll send you guys a copy there at InfoWars, because it was interesting. It's, half an inch thick of articles, around 1900, and around that time they were making all those explorations in the early 1900s, and they were reporting like regularly on what they were seeing in these overflights, and it. Pretty bizarre stuff,
What were they saying? What else they say they saw?
Well, they said they saw tropical, kind of environments, which didn't make sense, and so all of that. Yeah.
I just want to say something about time. Time, who's the god of time? Kronos. Kronos is what? Black cube is Saturn. That's all I'm saying. Keep that in mind when you start seeing time stuff brought up. It's all part of the game, dude. Kronos, the god of time. Where do we get child sex trafficking? Where do we get sacrifices from? The myth of Kronos. Just keep that when you keep, and nothing against the doctor, of course, because.
Let me just go back to Dr. Begich here, and also go back to Dave Weiss. Dave, have you seen this stuff about the New York Times reporting tropical stuff? It was it Arctic or Antarctic that you're talking
about?
Antarctic.
It's the Antarctic. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that. All of our history is a lie. It appears that the lands that surround our world were tropical at one point. Things change. I don't know. I'm here now. I can't attest for it, but we're being lied to about everything on such a level. Good people that want to believe and would never lie have a hard time getting through those lies.
And I think maybe some of it too is you get this trend of people who make their big breakthroughs and have a hard time sort of undoing them when new things come forward. And I think that's what happens in a lot of the sciences, quite frankly. I mean, you think about Clovis man in the United States, 13,000, 14,000. Yeah. Now we know better, 130,000 years old.
They tell us that, we were at horse and buggies 150 years ago or whatever. And then you look at a place like Angkor Wat, which is an amazing, it's bigger than the pyramids in Egypt. We couldn't build it today if we wanted to. And instead of changing their theory about history, they go, oh, that's an anomaly. And they move on. That's not science. That's science.
Right.
Dude, this is agreement.
And I think we're seeing. Yeah, and we're seeing changes, I think, in the archaeological community. A lot is going on there. And you look at some of the things that Graham Hancock had done over his 25 years, and now even the mainstream starting to report on some of these things that are pre-last glacial age, which all of that is really interesting to me because it certainly makes a lot more sense than the current narrative.
Well, sir, I think asking questions is important. Well, Dr. Nick Begich is here on the Flat Earth Extravaganza transmission on this Friday. Don't forget, I'll be back this Sunday here on the Flat Earth from 4 to 6 p.m. Central. One more segment with all of us, then Dr. Nick Begich takes over. But right now, it's the Tinfoil Hat Podcast.
Yes!
We are working with Silicon Valley to make you behave yourself. Once we have full control, we send you to re-education camp like we do our people when they talk back to the party. Whatever you do not visit band.video. Band.video is evil Americans whom Silicon Valley is teaching to shut up. Like China do. I just caught you, American. You visited Band.video. Oh, Mark Zuckerberg and others angry at you. Do what CNN says and do not visit Band.video or I have to hurt you.
I love that. That's hilarious.
You nice dragon.
You can make an animated series out of that motherfucker. Oh, I didn't see
You're never getting on Saturday Night Live, bro. You're done.
Send it to my...
Do you legitimately have Tourette syndrome?
No.
Dude, he's got a song in his head. He wants it to rock. What's wrong with
All
that?
he wanted to be was a rock star and said, you're the jiu-jitsu king.
That sucks.
See how the Lord works mysterious ways? But you are a good musician.
He is.
And actually, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Nobody plays keyboards like this.
All right, Dr. Nick Begich is going to take over. We're going to have this gentleman back in. I said, come here and give us a presentation. He said, no, American, you come to Dallas Flat Earth meeting. But we'll see if Dave Weiss will do that. But getting serious, Becca, one of our amazing researchers, and she's co-hosting some of the shows, she's a skydiver. She's pretty ninja-like, and she's seen that curve of the earth jumping out of that airplane at 10,000 feet. So
You have not seen
Okay,
it.
check this out.
No, let woman talk.
Okay, go ahead.
You man been talking. Go ahead, lady, friend, go talk.
Go.
I put all those mics in. This was like, I put all these in for them to be on air. They won't go on air.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do every day, though, where we do this
can't
till
hear
they learn
her.
how to do it.
I would
you
like to-
can't get on. Okay.
Nope, we can't. hear.
Bye-bye, lady friend.
There we
All
go.
right, you guys can hear me now.
Yes.
All
right. I love the
Now you
conversation.
focus camera, dumb Americans.
So maybe one of you guys can answer this question for me because I've been skydiving. What about when you're up in a plane or skydiving, jumping out of a plane, you can see the curvature of the Earth? I'm just
You want me
wondering
to
what
answer
the
that?
explanation is. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Under Sharia law, you not talk. Shut up. That's a good point.
Go ahead.
See, the ladies helped me.
Yeah.
That's an easy...
Thank you.
Go on.
Go ahead.
That's such an easy one. Even your high priest Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you can't see the curvature from twice the height of an airplane.
See my high priest?
we've sent balloons up to 120,000 feet, or the horizon's flat. What you're seeing?
Wait a minute. You can see the curvature.
Hang
of
on,
an
hang on,
airplane.
Alex. Let me
No,
explain.
you can't.
You high
Let me
priest.
explain.
You can't,
We,
dude.
we see in the same, whatever our viewing distance is, that's what it is in all directions. So if you plot points all around, that's like putting your head in the middle of a hula hoop and you see the edge of that hula hoop. You're seeing a curve.
Dude,
Because
you're crazy,
seeing
Alex.
X number of miles in all
I'm
directions.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not
And your
Alex.
brain
I'm
tells you that
Fentanyl, Chinese dragon.
that is a sphere.
Well, look, let me finish. There's all these amateur balloons with cameras going up at 120,000 feet. That's as high as they can go. And there's all this footage all over the internet of at 120,000 feet, it's flat. Now, planes go up 35,000 feet, right? So Neil deGrasse Tyson was asked, you can watch it on YouTube, ask him, how come there's no curvature at 120,000 feet? Does that prove that the Earth is flat? Neil deGrasse Tyson said, dude, at 120,000 feet, that's not high enough to see any curve. At 120,000 feet, it's flat. He goes, that thing is flat at 120. So anybody saying that they see the curve from a plane, that's 35. They don't. You think you're seeing the curve, but you don't. Neil deGrasse Tyson said, that's your boy. That's your boy. He said, you can't see curve at 120,000 feet.
He's my high priest. Okay.
He's your boy,
guys,
dog.
That's your boy.
I don't just
shout out your boy.
I don't just believe
Alex,
whatever.
final word.
Final word.
Hey, listen, final word, and then I got to
Dave, was I right? Was I right with that, Dave?
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you.
Dr. Nick Begich, hold on. You finished now, Mr. Wise.
So you guys are having fun Friday, I know. This is what
Send
it is.
it to my phone.
I accept your offer to come into the studio and do a presentation. I hope you accept mine to come to the conference, fe2019.com, November 14th and 15th in Texas. Joey's coming. Listen, it's not my conference.
You're the biggest plugger on earth. Why are you dogging him?
And I invite
He's trying to give you information.
Sorry.
Go to my website, look at the videos, download the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock if you want. Each day you'll get a new video, and then you'll know. Right now, people can't even describe the Earth that they live on.
They don't. You're not a gnome alien lying to me.
You don't. You'd have to check it out.
Yeah, good answer.
I think you're a Galaxian.
Point.
All right.
Hey, I'm coming on your show whenever you're ready.
I love you. Thank you, sir. All right, I gotta
you're gonna for sure bring him back. You're gonna bring him back. You said you'd bring him
you keep
in the
bullying
studio.
me.
He's gonna fly you out.
Can I just say one thing? Can I say one thing? We spent a week working on Joker video done today. You saw wall version 2 days ago. Infowars.com, newswars.com, review of the Joker, how they tried to stop violence in street. Whether we're round or flat, Chi-Com government, me, funding revolution to stop you. So have your revolution, watch your Joker, and take your fentanyl. But seriously, powerful video. It goes through a lot of their secret operations. Secret of Joker film leaked. I don't know of all this stuff, what's going on with the planet, but I know this. The whole global warming thing's a fraud to sell us on a global government to tax all carbon activity that we know is what plants breathe. And so I think it's okay to question everything, but you need to get Alex Jones Explains the Archetype of the Joker character of mischief. It's free. It's a special report. It's very well done. So show this to your kids, your family, with this movie they're force feeding us.